Welcome everyone. Today I have a new auto chess guide video for Dota auto chess. Now in this video or in this guide, we're looking into a very unique mage that is very underrated but very powerful. So what I want to do is I want to use my game replay to go through with you guys, and at the end of the video I also showcase you guys the entire replay. So I started recording around round 5. It is a little slower, and you can see the units I have on the bench. And here we can see the ranked units and also the available relics that is available. If you haven't played Dota Auto Chess before, you can see the previous video. I try to explain a little bit. In this video, I also go step by step a little bit. During this time, I only have a panda on the board. There's a very high chance of getting pandas since the latest update to 12% each time getting a panda calling for new units. So what I'm playing with this special mage. Yes, I know mages are quite popular, but I'm not trying to play the most broken mage, but a very interesting mage. So over here, we're gonna play a Lina mage. My goal is to get Lina to 3-star and then start zapping enemies non-stop. During this time, I'll be hyper rolling or 3-star rolling for Crystal Maiden, Lina, and also we're gonna go with Skywrath Mage, we're gonna go with Centaur, and also Ogre Magi. So about 5 units will be trying to roll into 3 stars. And you can see on the side, I'm trying to play a rather higher rank game. I'm currently Bishop 8 and we're facing a lot of high Bishop players. It is much harder to find Rook lobbies for Dota Auto Chess, so usually Bishop are some of the highest ranking. Now, one of the first things you can notice with my center is I try to get this particular item, the Puffers. This particular item will actually give us increased armor, which is much welcome in the much later stage of the game. Now, let me get some water, and I'll try to fast forward a little bit so we don't go through all the rounds, but you can also see what happens with all the rounds. During this time, I just try to make myself a little weaker, so we're actually having a losing streak. So what I like to do for the first 10 to 15 rounds is to build up economy. I want to get as much economy as I can, and then I start to roll back on the units. I even sacrifice a Crystal Maiden to get to 29 gold, and by losing I get 30 gold. So fast forward a little bit because you can see my economy is going to start building, and I am keeping only 5 units. The center is here for tank while looking for magic damage items and also magic regeneration items for Lina. And again, at the start of the fight, there isn't anything too crazy. And you can see most of the players that try to economy and also try to get up the economy before round 15. And this is what we want to do as well. So I'm going to skip a little forward because during this time we're just trying to keep as many Lina as we can and while getting ourselves ready for round 10. For round 10, because of the neutral monsters, they're going to storm you, and you don't want to keep too many melee units. You just want to have enough units that you can take down them from afar. Usually a 2-star unit is enough, 2-star range unit is enough. If you have a 2-star range melee unit, it might not be the best. So during this time, I will be banning the ogres, the oaks, not ogres. I'll be banning the ox. So why do I ban the ox? It is over here. Let me have a look. So banning the ox gives us taking away 3 units out of the tier 2 unit pool, and this gives us high chance of Lina. It doesn't help us with the tier 1 units we're rolling, but they're not as game changing. Cost me about 12 gold and cost less if there's no disruptor or if there's no warlock. And of course, one of the bigger highlight is getting your economy up. So here we have the doubloons. This is by far one of the best ways of getting more gold by sacrificing your health. And I tend to do this a lot because I feel like this gets me into an earlier start of the fights. And I do buy random units just to help with my rates. So be careful here. So sometimes if you use the doubloon once, you get more mana or more gold, and then your health is lower than your gold. And if you use it again, your mana will be converted into health. You definitely don't want to do this. I've done this once and I was like, I feel so silly. So make sure your mana is always lower than your gold before using it. Otherwise you make the mistake and you convert health to mana or health to gold and then back gold to health. And that is a mistake I think many of us will make at least once. So what I'm doing here is I'm just collecting random units, but the goal is not really to collect any unit other than the ones I needed. But at the moment, Enchantress and also Santa can help us, I guess, soak up some damage, while Lina take down enemies a little quicker. You can see majority of the time for this build, I am staying on as low level as I can. I'm currently level 4, haven't spent any gold to roll into higher levels because I want to roll for all the 1-star and also tier 1 and also tier 2 units. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit, and if you do want to see a replay of the full replay, you can see it at the end of this video. You get to see the entire fights. I'm also putting down some priests to recuperate some of my health, and again, I'll be selling units I don't need, especially coming to round 15. Because we're gonna fight the wolves for round 15, we gotta make sure we're strong enough for the wolves. And during this time, I don't recommend getting double neutral monsters, because this particular build is quite weak on round 15. So, round 14, we're almost there. And you can see, my goal is to save as much gold as I can by the time I get to round 15 with my talent of reduced gold cost of rolling. This is why I spend all my gold. It's much more important to plan your economy and also synergize with the level 15 talent. Whether you're rolling for high rate monsters like the purple or the golden legendary monsters with your 15 talent at level 7 or level 8, or if you're trying to, I guess, do what I do, try to hyper roll for 3 stars, you want to wait after level 15. This is the biggest game changer. And yes, I did sacrifice a lot of my health. I have 3 tangos, which I will use later, but I'm checking to see if there's any zoos or any special units that deals a lot of damage. I'll be prepared. So once we get to level 15, this is where the excitement starts. What you can see is, over here, once level 15, you pick greedy, and now all your units should cost 1 gold less, which is dramatically big saving, especially all of our units are costing 1 to 2 gold. So I'll start rolling, and yes, I did plan my economy correctly. I don't think I'll use Viper, but I just kept it there just in case I can't beat the wolves. And here I will be rolling as much as I can down to 40 gold. And yes, over here I did miss one of the harpies. And it is okay if you want to keep the harpies, but I just want to hyper roll into all the 2-star units just for the fight. It is also possible to go to level 6 for additional human, because this will help you to progress into level 9 much faster. The ultimate goal for this build is to at least get to level 9, but before that, you just want your 3-star Lina plus 3-star anything else. A 3-star Santa will actually do a lot of damage, and they have massive tanks for this very squishy team. As for items, you want any items that provides you with mana regen, spell damage, or anything that helps you tank up in the front line. So again, we're gonna start rolling, and I probably should show you guys what happens when we overflood the board. So I'll be selling all the priests because I no longer need them. And here my goal is to keep only 5 units, because I've tried it before. If you try to roll 3 stars more than 5 units, what's gonna happen is it's not gonna help. Most of the time you're gonna overflood your board. And I'm gonna get a little greedy. Yes, so the goal is stop rolling by the time it's about 6 seconds left if your pin's okay and if you know what you're doing. And the hyper rolling and overflooding the board can be very risky, and you have to plan ahead of time just in case what to do when you have too many units and which one to sell. Usually sell the tier 1 units and 1 star. So during this time, Lina can double cast because of Ogre, but we're still quite weak. You might be wondering, hey man, you try to showcase us a build, like how weak is this build, right? But this is before we get into full power, and this is when we tap in some tangos, get some items going. I should have put the Midas on Lina as well. We can kill the summons, which is a mistake. So now during this time, you can see that I'm thinking of rerolling the Midas into a magical item, but let's get some 3 stars. The biggest power spike for this build is between level 16 to level 20, where you find your 3 stars and then you become unstoppable. Or at least I hope. Now, overflooding the board is okay, since now I'm overflooding with 2 units. And it's important that you use your hotkeys if you plan to do this, because things might get very tricky. And notice here I realize I'm overflooding the board too much. I'll use IO and I'll fuse the Lina. I don't use IO for anything else but Lina. It's a big game changer if you find Lina, and if you don't. Let's have a look. Of course, one of the upside of this build is that most other people's build actually comes into power after level 20, and our build actually comes into power after level 16 if you get all the units to 2-star at least. If you can find 3-star units, you stop losing health most of the time. But at the moment, you can see my center. He has a lot of armor because of the Paris, and with double edge, it is a massive boost of AoE damage. Look at the center's damage, over 2000, even at the level 2 of 2-star stage. So, we'll keep rolling. And it's okay to roll a little deeper too. Notice that I'm actually rolling under 40 gold, because my goal here is to stop losing health. I have economy a lot, so much that we have a lot of economy. And my goal is to find my 3-star Lina, find 3-star anything else, and then go with my final synergy. And here Kaz is gonna be the 6th unit of completion. Once you have Kaz, you'll have the Harpy synergy, and the Harpy synergy will allow you to pretty much zap anything with Lina with double zap, because Lina's single target casting will now have 2 targets, and this gets even better. So at the moment with the multicast, Lina's killing 2 units outright, but with Kaz she will be killing 4 units outright, and this gets even better. So fast forward a little bit, and yes, if you guys want to see the full fight, you get to see it at the end of the video. I'll show you guys the whole replay. Usually at round 19 I stop rolling because I want to maximize the interest, and then once we get to round 20, after round 20 we'll roll all the way to any 3-star we can. We need to be as strong as we can by level 21. So, level 19 is by far the most scary round for me because I can lose like over 10 health on this round and we don't have much health. But luckily we're facing people who are also not ready yet, because most of the build becomes ready after level 20. And Lina with a 3-star Skywrath Mage is actually doing some hefty damage. Now during this time, you want to be aware if there's 5-star units of legendary units like Disruptor, because Disruptor is the one that can break us in the late game. If Lina gets silenced, then we can't do anything, right? So fast forward a little bit and you can see me rolling a little deeper just because I'm over flooding the board, and we're still over flooding the board. And yes, I was gonna wait for after level 20, but I'm over flooding the board so much I have to roll. And luckily I found Lina. Yes. You might be thinking, hey, Lina's not that broken, right? Well, let's see what happens. So, I'm getting my items ready, make sure I do my raid rolls before it happens, and get all the magical damage item onto Lina. You might be surprised, you might be saying, hey, you don't need that much magical damage, but we do, because a lot of players will build Pipe, a lot of players will build Naga, because how strong Lina is once you get her going. Nothing too special on the monsters, and here I do want to notice, if you do find yourself with a tier 3 relic, you want to get as much tier 3 relic as you can, and Weaponsmith will help you towards that. So I even sold the Kaz just because I needed the extra interest, which is not the best idea. At this time I think 1 gold is not a big difference, but I'm greedy to roll into all the 3-stars. But I should have kept the Kaz. So now I wish I had a Kaz. And yes, I am being extremely greedy, but if you're going much higher rank games like Rook games, you might not want to be as greedy as you can see me over here. Because what's going to happen is you will lose too much health. In Bishop games, it's okay. I've been testing this similar build in Rook games. You want to be a little conservative. The upside is my center has 11 bonus armor with tons of more armor. Let's have a look at the fight before we complete the synergy. Looks pretty good. The center did about 3000 damage, and this is before 6 mages. Lina is pretty much one-shotting everyone, and there is a Zeus. I don't like Zeuses, you lose too much health. Of course, when I have the Zeus, it feels good, right? So we briefly have a look at the round, and by the way guys, in order to look at what enemies are having, you can press F3. And this helps you with a hotkey to see what the enemies are having. What I'm really looking into is there any disruptors, is there any tide hunters, or anything that can stop me from casting? Because I'm not scared of any other mages except Dragon Mage. And you saw with the legendaries, there isn't any Dragon Mages in the game. So that means, you know, that means we are pretty safe against Dragon Mages. Dragon Mage does cast a little faster, together with the silencing and also things, not the best for us. This is definitely a S tier or S minus tier build for me. Top 3 build if you can get it going. And here I'm looking for a Kaz. Yes, I saw my Kaz earlier, but I know I can find one eventually. This is the start of the build. But what we're really looking for is, we're really looking for a tier 3 item. And here I'm still trying to figure out how to get my tier 3 item. And simply because in order to get a tier 3 item with Weaponsmith, we don't need much item. And let's have a look. Let's have a look at the power of the build. My goal now is to get to level 9. You'll see what happens. So this is without Spell Prison. I'm looking for a tier 3 item of Spell Prison to gain 1 additional targeting. So Center goes in, Center pretty much one-shots one thing at the front, and Lina goes out and start to zap things in double zaps now. And that feels great. You can see the magical critical hits too. Now I'm looking to get my 6 mages, and once we have 6 mages, we can then go into gods together with Stampede with Centaur and also Lashrak, which is an amazing combination for the super late game. Fast forwarding a little bit, you can see ourselves, we're just waiting for the round 25. And you can see people getting 2-star of legendaries already in this round, because they're pretty aggressive. And here we're only basically Lina mages, right? But the center is building up a lot of armor. There's a lot of different variety of builds for autochess, and I'm having a great time. So I want to showcase you guys some interesting ones together with some very stable ones. Notice my center is so tanky, it tanked the entire team for a few seconds, and Lina took all of them down. And just to have a look what is available with all the other players, there's a massive egg over here with Chaos Knight. So we can see that there's all legendary and also purple gods mage, which is a little concerning. There's also 4 gods, and here we can see there's a dragon mage coming under the way, and he's going to be a 5 dragon mage, which is very concerning. There's also a 3-star winter warren with 4 orcs. You probably go for all orcs. And there's also a 3-star gods. It's 3-star gods warrior, and there's a void, and there is a monk. The monk is probably the weakest. So during this time, we are waiting for round 25 for some good items. And you can see I have stabilized ever since I got my 3-star units, because during round 21 to round 25, the Lina is enough to carry 80% of the time. There's very rare instances Lina gets doomed, Lina gets silenced, then you can't carry. But most of the time you're okay. It came a bit close because she got burned with the invoker with mana burn. So we stabilized, we get to level 25, and you can take frenzy. Usually you don't have much health. Taking frenzy means you can actually recover more health. Again, I'm trying to get my items going, and once we get the items going, this will change even better. I'm a little slow on the Spell Prison though. Again, a bit greedy over here. But the final game changer will be the Spell Prison. And yes, you can go with even higher version. Oh, there it is. So yes, you can go with even stronger version of 4 Harpies, which I will plan to make a showcase for you guys. But before getting 4 Harpies, finding a Spell Prison will make or break this particular build. So before finding a Spell Prison, every time, let me move my head a little bit, maybe it's easier this way. So before finding Spell Prison, every time I get a chance to reroll for items, or always reroll a tier 3 or level 3 neutral item, because I need to find Spell Prison. Once you found Spell Prison, 20% bonus magic damage and 1 more targeting. This will make the game incredibly different. So right now my Lina will have 3 targets. Let's have a look what happens. And now, after finding the Spell Prison, there is 1 more item. I think the Monitor Hall will give us instant casting, but we don't really need that. I just need Lina to be casting as fast as we can and having higher damage. Over here, having any item that disables enemies is also good. So only because I found the Spell Prison, I decide to go with tier 4 items that include silencing and also refresher. So let's look at Lina. A little slow on casting. And that was all of 3-star units. They pretty much disappeared in like 2 seconds. And the damage for Lina and Soul Center is 5,600 and 6,000. So now what I'm planning to do is I'm planning to keep Rubik plus another version of the wizard. So I'm planning to go all the way up to level 8, level 9, even level 10 for the best synergies that is available to my combination. Let's have a look. I love to see the fights after Lina is ready. So here we're fighting a 2-star Tide. This is the, I think this is a Torrent high rank. Lina is always in the corner to be protected, and as long as Lina doesn't die, things will melt within a few seconds, like that. And we just defeated the #1 players currently on the leaderboard. And let's have a look what's available. So I think I just defeated the, was it the Gods? I think so. I think we defeated the Gods Mage. No, hold on. Oh, we defeated Noah. So Noah is the Tauren Gods. And yeah, this is a pretty strong board. You can see there's a lot of 2-star legendaries. There's a lot of cool synergies and 3-star units, and again 3-star units. Majority of the time after you have gotten your synergy, my goal is to get human on the board. This can be Conquer, this can be Keeper of the Light. And if I have spare leveling, I won't be greedy to save my gold. I'll try to spend as much gold as I can to get all the units on the board. I want to protect health now. And having humans on the board means I'm also getting 2 experience per level. So have a look over here. Round 28. Oh, this is the Aqua. Aqua build is really cool because they resummon multiple times, and the the Alchemist becomes incredibly powerful and crazy. But luckily we can 2-shot Alchemist. But I'll make an Aqua build for you guys as well. Aquas are really cool, and the Alchemist is huge. Usually I come and have a look to see if we can defeat other enemies, and if they defeat me very easily, then I have to be careful and look what is happening and also how to adjust for that. Again, during this time, nothing too fancy. We're keeping the 2 gods. I even keep a Panda just so I can potentially get a free unit during the neutral run. I only use a Panda during the neutral run. And here is an all 3-star Gods Warrior. They all 3-star in golden, but the Gods Warrior is a bit slow. Notice I took half of the health with 1 center hit, and Lina would take them down within like 2 seconds. Pretty satisfying, right? It gets even better. So over here you can see that I'm consistently defeating other players. I'm always checking if I can beat other players with my current build and who else is winning and why are they winning. This Alchemist is gigantic. It gets even better when it's a 3-star Alchemist. So I went from the bottom of the leaderboard all the way to the top of the leaderboard. We also reached about 10% life, which is great. Before the neutral round, usually you want to take out items and just reassemble the items and do whatnot. But I don't really have a need to change my items yet. And during this time, I do have a little mistake. The mistake is I didn't use my blacksmith hammer twice because I was so slow on that. So don't make this mistake. You usually want to use your hammer twice. And I'm really hoping for the neutral monsters drop some neutral items, so I quickly craft my relic before it disappears. Because you gotta use it twice, right? I was like, please drop the item. And it was just 1 item. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna craft it before my relic disappears, and it just went from tier 1 to tier 2. Nothing too fancy, it kind of wasted the hammer, but it's okay. And this time, there isn't anything great. So one thing I like to do when there's anything great relic, especially I'm very overdraw with gold. I want as much gold as I can to get to level 9 for the legendaries and also great units that's coming. So I actually go with Stolen Vault. Yes, I go with Stolen Vault a lot. And this gives me a pretty good gold, 17 gold. You might not think it's a big deal, but around this time, if you get some gold, get to level 9, and finding a crucial legendary, this will be a massive game changer. And here with the pack and also with the gods, I'm able to synergize into my mages. But there is, of course, a downside. I don't have humans anymore. We'll get humans back. Let's have a look at the power up for the Lina. With 6 mages, and also very soon we're gonna go for gods. I'm looking for Keep Up the Light, of course, over pack. So having any additional disable is great. Notice here we had the Bloodthorn that silenced one of the units, and this gave us the chance to have Lina pretty much go free hand. This have a great chance of disabling the enemy's Disruptor, enemy's Tidehunter, and again, we're checking if enemies are beating us or what's happening. I tend to overdraw with my gold because I know a lot of other players will be pushing for stronger build after round 31. I don't want to get greedy with gold after round 21. Now, what are we looking for? We're looking for anything that can give us a stronger upgrade. Lion can cast multiple times because of the Harpy synergy. And here we're looking for Rubik. Storm is better than Pug, but ideally we're looking for Tidehunter, anything that is, amazingly powerful. So one of the reasons we go with Tidehunter is that I want to have any form of disable. But the downside of the Tidehunter, how should I say it, is that if he doesn't get enough mana, if he gets killed, it's not going to be great. And because I no longer have the mages, I don't need the line anymore. I'm trying to get to my gods with Rubik and also Leshrac. Leshrac is added to the pool a little earlier. This is actually a very scary fight. So, over here we're facing Voids. The Void team tend to be quite tanky and they're not susceptible to disables. And this gets scary if your mage is focused on disabling enemies with Tidehunter, Conquer, or anything of that kind. But for us, we have Lina. And Lina can quickly deal with them because she does raw damage. And look at this. So what are we facing right now? We're facing the Void with all 3-star units. We're facing the number 1 rank Gods Warrior with 6 warriors and also 4 gods. And here we have a Dragon Mage that is fully matured with Disruptor and also Invoker 2-star. Dragon Mage is scary. And we also have a God's Torrent and some very scary things. I'm still looking for my Keeper of the Light and also Leshrac. Whichever one comes first. Hopefully Keeper, because Keeper gives us more experience. Usually I buy the legendaries, and if they have first time bought legendaries, you also get some refund. No luck. This is actually not great. I'm checking what I can do, and I'm trying to get my Tidehunter into a sweet spot that he actually survived long enough to cast the spells. And having multiple ogre is great. You get double Tidehunter casting, get double Lina casting, you get double Conquer casting, which is also not bad. So, position the Tide a little in the middle, just be careful with anti-mages and also Ricky's, that's the hard part. Oh, this is scary. Disruptor is my nemesis. So, I mentioned earlier, the only time I'll lose to enemies or massive losses is that Lina gets silenced. That's because of Disruptor. And you can see, we also lost the Void over here. So, what can I do? Well, my build is not complete. We don't even have all the units we wanted. Let's see if we can get lucky over here. Oh god, there's a Tide. Tides are good, but the troublesome part is Tide is not enough. I need mages, I need more mana, I need Tide to be instantly casting. And one of the easiest way to avoid losses for me is I actually swap the board around, and there's a quick swap button as you saw over there. It's on your courier, and this allows us to actually quick swap the board from left to right. Sometimes just adjusting the side is good. You can see enemies also have Scythe of Vice, which is not great, but a very low chance of Lina getting Scythed because she's not going to be the highest rank units. Sometimes Conquer or Tide gets hexed. See, as long as my Tide can go off, we have a secure fight, because Lina is pretty much zapping 3 things at once. And this is before we even find gods. We need to find Leshrac. And as other players die, we collect some gold. So, here, this is the choice. I can go with additional IO, which will help with my Tide, or I can go with higher ranking. Because my health and also my economy is not the best, of course I won't be going for higher ranking, because I can't go beyond level 10, right? Now, during this time, I decide to take down the Tidehunter and go back to the Mage synergy, because this also gives us humans. I also put down the Rubik with Paralyze. So, selling the Conquer, and my next goal is to find Leshrac to be level 10. and this will complete the build. It might not seem to be the strongest build, but this build has a unique leveling curve that most other builds are not aware of. Anything that disables enemies like Glimmer, is it Glimmer? This lightning zap thing that stops the enemy from moving is great. I even sold the cats because I don't need the 2-stack cats. I'm short on economy. So, over here we'll have two choices. We can get better mages, or we can level up, but we're too far away from leveling up. I'm hoping to find IO here. Oh, I found IO. Perfect. So what do I do? I was like, what do I do? I'm gonna take back a Rubik, sell a Rubik, don't have enough for IO, sell the line. And I was like, what do I do? Yes. So, it's a very interesting concept that you can... I should have kept the Invoker, of course. You can go with 6 mages and also Tidehunter. One of the reasons people like Tidehunter is that he does magical damage, and it is incredibly good to have a disable in a late game. Notice that after 1 or 2 disable, enemies in their place, and this gives Lina free reign. Now, if you don't have the starting disable, you are in the mercy of enemies Tidehunter and also Disruptors, and I don't like that. And of course, I'm looking for one more mage to replace the second Ogre. Let's see if we can get lucky. And yeah, double Ogre is not great. I should have kept the Invoker, but I was withdrawing too much. And here I want to adjust my lineup a little bit so that if I do get silenced, there is a chance of enemy Disruptor not silencing correctly. And of course, I'm just thinking of where to put my units. So the good thing is I am still stable with health, 33%, I can't get one-shotted, so I can afford to be a little greedier. And because I can't reroll for neutral items, I decide to give all the items to Tidehunter. Okay, does he have Disruptor? He does have Disruptor. So Disruptor, where does he pick? He picked the Lina side and he pretty much cleared one of my side. It's not great, but it's something I have to deal with. And yes, this Dragon Mage is something that will be quite strong. Okay, I lost 10%, I dropped the Rapier. Yes, someone dropped the Rapier, not me. But I don't tend to use the Rapier because the Rapier will give us damage, but we're not here for the damage. We're here for disables. So, Spell Prison, get the Spell Prison going, get the Glipperman going, get the Bloodthorn going, anything else that give us better spell damage is good. I realize I don't have to change anything on the Lina because I can't reroll. I'm thinking whether I should use the Divine Rapier over here, and I guess if I use the Divine Rapier and then drop it, it's worst. I will only use the Divine Rapier if I'm about to lose. So that means if I lose one more time, I'll use Divine Rapier. Our goal is to get the Tidehunter going. You spell cast Tidehunter. Notice that even the Tidehunter gets, doesn't stun the void, it still deals magical damage. But of course, one of the downfalls of this build is that Lina can be doomed. Oh boy. Remember I was pretty greedy? I just lost 22 health over here. And now it's not looking great. Well, let's see what we can do. The first thing we can do is we can consider using the Rapier. The second thing is we could roll into the Ogre. Finding another mage would be great. And yes, I did miss the pack, and I missed the Wither Wyvern. I'm already panicking, by the way. And yes, my goal was to find the Zeus. I think I missed in a part that I was checking the available mages. There's Invoker, there's also the availability of Zeus. One of the reasons I wanted Zeus is I prepared Rubik, and also I prepared the Lestrak to be coming into the fray. And this will give us amazing mages, especially having both of the 4 gods and also 6 mages. And of course, at this time I was like, okay, no time for Rubik, gotta get the centers going, or the stampede going. Now, Tidehunter is great. If you can get the Tidehunter going, it pretty much takes down half of enemy's health. And you can see, Lina, Center Warrunner, Skywrath Mage is also great, and plus with Center, Zeus is actually not doing the highest damage. And we're left with 3 players. And of course, surprisingly, we're left with 1. So yes, this is a super close fight now. And round 40, good time to get all the items out of tide and get ready for the neutral items, and together with crafting new items. Again, I'm recommending crafting a tier 4 or purple item if you can, because there's a lot of good purple items. But if you can get your hands on a tier 5 item, looking for the Scythe of Vice first. Aghanim Scepter is good, but it's not as amazing as the Scythe. Yes, as feared, we're facing 5 Dragon Mages with a Disruptor, which is one of the best counters for my mage build. Dragon Mages are usually the top tier build because it casts instantly, but for me, I'm trying to, I still need a second to cast my spells, but I do one-shot 3 mages at a time, which is the best part. Look at this, the trolls died within like 5 seconds of the fight. And yes, I didn't go for any synergies, I just went with a safe bet because I can go to level 10 this way. And yes, I'm going for a purple item. Purple item usually give us the best chance of finding something useful and not too costly if we don't get the right rope. Going to level 10 will give us Stampede. This is my ultimate plan, and here I'm looking for Last Track. I even took back the Keeper of the Light to sacrifice the mages because I want gods, and finding Last Track will complete the synergy, which is perfect. So here I got Last Track in, put Last Track down, take away the Magnus, finding the Last Track completes my synergy, and right now we have 2 gods and also 6 mages together with Stampede. Multiple ways of disabling enemies. Tidehunter, Last Track. Stampede is the best way to counter the Dragon Mage. They need a second to cast, but Stampede take away the second, and now they're in trouble. So, in order to become the endgame build, I have kept Center for this particular reason. Center together with Stampede is the way to go. Now, if you don't have Last Track, going with Magnus and is the way to go as well. Simply because going with Magnus will give you additional ways of disabling enemies. You still get the Stampede, but you don't get the gods going. And you can go with Rubik and also one more unit to get the god synergy even stronger. Now, I have Tidehunter, I have my double Stampede, my Keeper of the Light is here to avoid enemies, and my items are here to disable enemies. We have single target Bloodthorn Silence, we have 2 Glibbermere disables which will stop mages from casting, and also hiding in the corner. So notice that multiple mages are disabled, and this takes away the god's ability. Disruptor was super slow. By the time Disruptor casted, well, there's much left of his team, right? Okay, final fight. Well, I went from 4% back to 12%. Now, is there anything we should be aware at this point? Well, it's more about the enemy's positioning. If he's positioning in such a way that I can't counter him, it's not great. Having Blink Dagger on the Tide is also good, because Disruptor tend to not silence on his own side, but I don't have Blink Dagger. I also used all my rerolls. I don't see any big problems, I'm just worried that, he might win because of some bizarre situation. And during this time, it is possible to swap your whole board, but there's no need because we won last round. So I'm gonna hide in the corner and let's look at the final fight. Having the gods actually allows Lina to cast super fast. And notice the Disruptor, we need to catch a Disruptor. With the Stampede, Disruptor don't get to cast in a few seconds. And by the time he casted, my mage's already done 2 layers of spells. But unfortunately, he actually defeated me on the other side because it's a mirror swap. I'm like, what can we do now? Well, the only upgrade we can find is going to be our gods with Zeus. And other than that, finding another card, finding another Last Track will be good, but I could try to RNG myself with Io, because if I get lucky with Io and also Last Track, we get a second Last Track. But you can say Last Track is not here to do the highest damage. So I'm trying to flip my board because I saw that I won last time using my own board, but it's mirrored. So I'm trying to flip the entire board, even change the Last Track back. So this way I know I will win on his side, but I might lose on my side. But the positive thing is, if I do win on my side, I win super fast. Well, we still win super fast at this side. The fight was over within 1 second, by the way. This is the power of the Stampede Lina Mage. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and the video got a little longer. Well, gosh, this is a super long video. I was trying to make it a little shorter, but I only explained the whole thing to you guys. Let me know in the comments if this kind of video explanation is too much, or if you think this is a good way of demonstrating every thought process of the build in the game, so you can know what I'm looking for at different stage of the game. I'll also attach this entire replay for you guys that you can see what happens. So yes, this is a super long video. The first part is me explaining every step of the process of the thoughts, and the second part is actually to showcase you guys the entire replay fully, so you can see what I did, how I was rolling for things, and how I was economizing. A little unfortunate, I was recording at round 5 of the fight, but you can see there's nothing fancy. I just kept Dazzle so I can be a priest, and also I kept all the units I'm looking for. Everything else I'm trying to economy as much as I can, and that's pretty much the build. Let me know what you guys think about the Lina mage. And yes, he was able to defeat one of the strongest meta build with the 5 dragon mages. To be honest, he could have been stronger if he had the stampede, but I can adjust for that. I'll teach you guys how to adjust for stampede in the future videos. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys with more auto chess videos to come on this particular channel.
At your service.
Let it burn. There are none who cannot be mimicked.
Knight in blackest armor.
Guess we better.
Yep. Guess we better.
Yup.
Enchant?
The Dusk is always ready for a fight.
In green, I go.
I'll just sharpen my spear and I'm ready to go. Ice is nice.
In the service. When you play with Lina, you take.
So brave.
A mixed blessing.
In the service of Salamene.
Monster kill.
Dragonas! At your service.
An arrow and a target.
Dragonas! At your service.
Ice is behold the scourge of Icewrack.
Guess we better.
Ready to take wing.
I step into a new
Ice is nice.
Dragonas! At your service. Dragonas! At your service.
Ice is nice.
Ready to take wing. Dragonas!
Behold this.
Service.
Brad Warden. Guess we better.
When you play with Lina.
Dragonas! At your service.
My blade grows lighter.
Ice is nice.
When you play with Lina.
Guess we.
Ready to take wing.
For the Kazurai.
When you play with
Good idea.
Brad
Let it burn. Ice is nice.
a blaze of glory.
Behold the skirt.
my blade grows lighter. Thanks.
For the Kazurai.
Knowledge cannot be mimicked.
Time to show off.
Vereska has arrived.
This one's on me.
What is this? A game of some sort?
Give right.
Who summoned the demon witch?
Verandan bıkmamak dinlemek için.
The hunter feasts.
Time to shove off.
Who summoned the demon witch?
They'll never find your grave.
The hunt
For the Kazari.
I ride with the light.
The time has come for me. I ride. Good idea.
Your god has arrived.
God be with you. Elder Titan.